Hey there, I'm Francois, and this week I'm going to be talking about my planning for 2021. Hope you enjoy the video. My next 8,760 hours. I spent this month going through this amazing guide called 8,760 Hours, How to Get the Most Out of Next Year by Vermeer. Just to clarify, there are 8,760 hours in a year. I'm not sure how I first came across this guide, but I am glad that I did. I try very hard to keep organized, and some people might think that I am. For the past few years, I have especially tried to make a habit of preparing myself for the upcoming work year by taking some time at the beginning of each year to plan. Now, as 2020 showed us, you can't always be fully prepared. And although this is true, I like the idea of thinking that I have some control. I had a lot of time last year to re-evaluate my life, and I dug up this guide near to the end of the year and thought that I would like to try and be as organized in other areas of my life as I try to be at work. So I read this guide by Vermeer and went through all of the steps, hoping that I could at least have some more structure in 2021. I must say that I followed the guide almost exactly, but that won't be necessary for everyone. And I hope to adjust it in the upcoming years if I get the chance to. I will leave a link to the guide in the description box below. Here is a short summary of the process I took. What you will need: a pen and some paper to make mind maps on. Alternatively, you can use some mind mapping software. You're going to need some time to do that, and you need some privacy also, not to be disturbed, so you can really get your the brain juices flowing and really do something. Just about the software that I use mind map. Vermeer talks about something else. You can check that out in the guide. But I use MindNode. At this point, it may be a good idea to think of your life areas. The guide gives an example of 12 life areas, and I just use these. Reviewing the past year, a snapshot of your life. Next, you have to think about the past year and answer a few questions like what went well and what didn't go well, where you tried hard and where you didn't try hard enough. There are a few other questions that you may have to think about in general. You can look at each life area, but I just took a general look here. Thereafter, you can get specific with a few more questions about your life areas. The guide suggests creating a mind map called Life Status End of 20XX in the center, with all life areas branching out and adding as much detail as possible. I just did a mind map for each life area because clearly I do not have as sophisticated software or not a big enough sheet of paper. Something that I found particularly fascinating were the Hamming questions. According to the guide, this guy, Richard Hamming, used to ask his colleagues over lunch, what are the important problems of your field? After a while, a week or so, he would ask them, what problems are you working on? And after another bit of time, why aren't you working on the important problems? He soon found himself unwelcome at many lunch tables. This really got me thinking about my purpose and what I bring to the table in my work, and I need to say that I was rather embarrassed because I always thought I was doing important work until I really thought about it using these Hamming questions, and I discovered I was not. There are many questions in the guide which I really try to at least think about, if not answer all of them. You can do the same or just pick a few, even come up with your own. The point is that you really think about what you want to change or what impact you want to make. Planning for 2021. Okay, so now you're ready to start thinking about your ideal future. There are countless methods to assist you with this. Idea boards, your journal, or maybe you have a clear idea in your head. I use the combination of previous goals, my journal, and Pinterest. I'm not going to show you my Pinterest or my journal for that fact. You can then construct a mind map called Future Visions and Goals. You could also think of a yearly theme. I've always found themes useful in my work planning, so I've adopted the theme of the year of the Swift developer for 2021. Then it's on to your major goals. It's important to have goals and to know what your goals are, but I think it's also really important to not just write them down and know what your goals are, but also have an action plan about how you're going to achieve your goals. You're advised to limit your goals to 3 to 5, and I think this is sound advice. Focus is important, and if you have more goals, you could prioritize or simply add them when you have completed some of your major goals. There's lots more advice here on long-term goals and a note on meta skills. scheduling for success. So now you have your major goals, you need to build on them by getting a plan ready. How will you measure it? Give details as to how you plan to go about attaining these goals. Again, there's a few questions to guide you. You will address uncertainties and break down goals into some projects. A very useful tool is using a yearly calendar, preferably one that you can put on a page, and there is actually a link to free yearly calendars in the guide. This could be printed out, but I prefer keeping a digital copy. I also like using my calendar on my computer for blocking out things I will do. But it's important to prioritize your time so that, and to have that written down. And I'll maybe show a snapshot of my calendar, and you can kind of see where you need to focus on and make time for things like that, and have notifications go off to say that, hey, you're supposed to be doing that now. Maybe after your supper at night and watching a little bit of TV, relaxing, maybe just 1 hour of Netflix, and then saying after that hour of Netflix, you need to do a little bit of coding now. And I've been actually consistently doing that for this whole month. I hope it can go on. Monthly and quarterly reviews are a great way to keep track of how you're doing with your major goals and where you could improve, or simply congratulate yourself for great work. It's a good idea to schedule these and make some time on those days that you choose to really do this well. A little review of what you have done and still need to do can go a long way. I think it's important to guard your time like precious commodity it is. The older I get, the more I realize that I still want to do so much more, and I better get at it before it's too late. If you like this video, please subscribe for more content like this. I hope to make more content like this. And yeah, see you in the next one.